Hey, thanks for joining us. This is Jason and Pastor Dave, and I got some questions, and he's got some answers. So the question on the table, Dave, is when a person truly and genuinely gives their heart to the Lord, and they found that moment with Christ in their walk, in their life, can they lose that salvation?
That's one in our area especially. That's one of the big dividing lines. It's sad to say it is, but it's one of the dividing lines. And it really, the scriptures, without a doubt, allude to both answers. I mean, you can't say hard and fast because, and even in the argument or the supposed debate on the subject of once saved, always saved, there's wonderful people, wonderful godly men on both sides of the camp. As close as I've ever seen that talks about the idea of losing your salvation or whether you can. In 2 Peter, he describes for us an interesting thing where he talks about that I'm about to die, and he talks about something that some information that the Lord had just given to him about a way that he was about to pass away, and perhaps even the way he was going to die. And tradition says he died upside down on a cross, and he said something along the line, he did not want to die as his Lord died, so they hung him upside down. But knowing he was about to die, he said, I want you to have these things and that you'll always have these things before you. So 2 Peter becomes really the last will and testament of Peter. He's telling us something he wants us to know. And what Peter tells us he wants us to know is it says in verse 5 of chapter 1 that for this reason, giving all diligence, add to your faith. Just keep growing in your faith. The idea of growing in my relationship with God, add to your faith. And he gives a list of things like mile markers to kind of identify my growth in Christ. But the idea is keep growing. But then he said something interesting. He says that if you keep doing these things, this growing, this adding to your faith, this growing in Christ, he says that you'll never fall. And so I always come back to that. When somebody says, can I lose my salvation? Well, just keep growing. And you don't have anything to worry about. Now, if you're asking me if I can live in the world and live however I want, apart from God's desires, and still be saved because at one time in my life I was baptized, or one time in my life I went forward in a church, I don't know if I can make that guarantee from the scriptures. But I can say that if you'll keep growing in Christ, that you'll never fall.
So once you've found Jesus and accept him into your life, stay the course. Thanks for joining us.
Yes.